This morning, we're joined by Comrade Abdurrauf Bello-Labelabe, who is a retired university don of the Department of Political Science and an advocate of Igbomina, liberty and Northern Yoruba nationality, who is also a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in Kwara South. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, comrade. Shall I say don comrade? Thank you so much for speaking with us. This situation in Kwara State has come to the fore in the National Assembly in the first week of their resumption. Are you happy about the progress or with some of the resolutions that they have reached so far on the security situation in Kwara State?
Thank you very much. I say good morning to fellow Nigerians. Thank you for having me this morning on the issue of insecurity in Kwara South, especially in the Igbomina land. Yes, starting from where you started, that is the resolution of by the Senate. That resolution was too little and too late. You know, the representative of Kwara South at the Senate and at the Federal House of Representatives, they have not been up and doing. So the government have been doing a lot to fight insecurity in Kwara South, ever before the Senate resolution. It wasn't the Senate resolution that brought the the second mechanized brigade from Ibadan to the bush in Okeode, in Babala, in Oreke, in all the Igbomina lands where the bandits have been terrorizing us. The government have been doing its best possible within the confines of the Constitution to ensure that there is security of life and property. So, Senate passing the resolution yesterday, it wasn't something that one can, start jubilating about. I don't know whether I've answered your question, please.
What would you have had them do? Because let's not forget that the Senate just resumed, and the National Assembly in general only resumed this week. What have had the lawmakers do, perhaps before resumption?
This problem has been with us for the past 3 months. It has been with us. We have not seen any of those representatives at the National Assembly. We have not seen them. They have not shown up. Not even a visit to the affected areas. People deserted their homes. People were killed. People, cannot go to farm again. And we have not seen them. It is only the state government that has been responding to the crisis within the limits of his constitutional, responsibility. The governor has talked to the National Security Advisor, and they have mobilized, military to all the affected areas. Right? So we have not seen all these people elected. We are disappointed in them. We are disappointed, terribly disappointed. We didn't see them. So how can they now say they are passing a resolution to do what now? It is like shutting the door when the horse is already broken away from the stable, messing after death. So that is my view.
It's a little worrisome what has happened in Kwara State, because we know that largely, even though, yes, there have been skirmishes around the border towns of Kwara, largely the state has been spared what has been happening in the generality of the north central region. But some people will say, oh, it was only a matter of time, given the proximity. I mean, the fact that Kwara also had its own forests, and also the fact that it is situated around an area where we have seen quite a bit of violence, especially when you look at what has happened in Benue, some parts of Nasarawa, Plateau State as well. Some people would have said, well, if you were to look at what has been happening around that belt and the fact that Kwara is seated just beneath or shares the border with Niger State, which has not been spared either, and is just beneath that belt in the northwest region, perhaps it was only a matter of time before we saw an infiltration or an influx of bandits into the state. Do you think that this situation which Kwara has now witnessed, do you think it could have been prevented?
Yes, of course. It could have been prevented if the federal, the federal government has taken proactive actions before now. Okay, it is true that we have had all these skirmishes, around in the neighboring states, and we all know, especially from the southwest, the bandits. They are not bandits. They are terrorists. They are terrorists. They started as headers, disturbing our farmers from going to farm. Then they turned to kidnappers, kidnapping for ransom. Now they turn to, terrorists, full terrorists. They've come out in their full, regalia as terrorists, because it seems it is the early 19th century, jihad that is reincarnating now. Land grabbing. It is like some people are determined to cleanse the ethnic groups in Kwara South to acquire our land. They want to, acquire our land, to annex it to wherever. So if the government, the federal government, has taken proactive steps in collaboration with the state government by extending the security network, because the federal, the chain of command of the military architecture cannot allow the state governors, though they were said to be chief security officer of their state, they are titular, they are toothless bulldog. They cannot command the army, they cannot command the police. The police commissioner in Kwara State don't take instruction from the governor. The commander at Sobi here cannot take order from the governor. The order has to come from the National Security Advisor and the Commander-in-Chief. Before the action, transmitted to us here, the effort has been done. So the government should have prevented this intrusion into Kwara since they were checkmated at the southwest, region. We know that immediately the Seriki Fulani was, chased out of Igbo or somewhere in Osun State. They all migrated to Kwara State, and we have bushes, we have thick forests in Kwara South. Kwara South is the place where you have thick forest, especially in Igbomina land. So these people now migrated, emas, to us. They have invaded our land now, and there is nothing government can do about it. So the action now being taken seems to be, reactive. It should have been, proactive. So government should not wait till now before starting. I mean, they started all these military operations, right? And to worsen the situation, the government, the several local governments in Kwara South, especially those in affected areas, the 3 local governments in Kwara South that is terribly affected. Ifelodun, Irekodun, Isin. Those are the three major areas that constitute Igbomina land. And they are the one, they are the areas worst eaten by the attack. So the local government chairman resolved that they should close down the Kwara market. The Kwara market was closed down. Not quite, an hour later, some traditional ruler kicked against it. They said no.
Oh dear, it appears.
The Kwara something, the Kwara agency, and they said no, it should not be. And there are illegal minings going on in all these areas. We have illegal mining in Oreke, we have illegal mining in Okiode Axis, we have illegal mining in Abuji. All these illegal miners who control them, we see them dropping, something by helicopter. All these are security breaches that should have been taken seriously by the military or by the government. But the governor, the state government cannot do anything about that because the control is not within the responsibility of the state.
Mm.
So this is the issue.
Correctly. I mean, I think that from what you have now said, especially now that you have mentioned mining, there's certainly a pattern, because we've seen that in the states where there is either fertile land or where there are mineral resources, those states usually experience some instability. I'm glad that when I introduced you, I also introduced you as a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in Kwara South. So it is your party that is in government in Kwara State. It is also your party that is in government at the federal level. Why do you think it has been very difficult for the party to be able to put this at the forefront, identifying what the challenges have been, and to be able to work more closely to close the loops that it would seem that these terrorists, as you have called them, seem to be exploiting?
Well, thank you very much. Security matter is beyond partisan politics. And you shouldn't be surprised why we have, the problem has not been resolved in Kwara State. It is not only in Kwara State that is affected, right? It is anywhere, any country where you have centralized security. This has always been the problem. This centralization of security matter didn't start with our APC administration. It was something that has been, embedded in our lopsided federal system. It is not created by our party. And you had some video are going viral now, where some notable northerners are boasting how they brought in bandits for election purposes. Right? It wasn't under this administration. Right? Buba Galadima was saying something to that effect. The same thing with Kaubarage, who is also an indigenous of Kwara State. They made confession of how they brought in bandits for the purpose of election. It wasn't under Tinubu's administration. And this pattern of attacks cannot be resolved immediately. It's not a rocket science solution that can be found to it. So it is not a matter of political interest. No, it isn't. So it is a collective responsibility of all of us, because the federal government has to do has to take actions in order not to violate the Constitution and the international conventions. Because left for us, we wonder why the military have not been able to identify the settlements of all these bandits. They know where they are in the bushes. They know it. Why can't they deploy drones, CCTV, to focus these areas and then bring the Air Force to bomb them off? But if you make this suggestion, they will give you an international law that is against that. They say, okay, they are bombing the civilian population. And the human rights, whatever you have in this country, they will start crying out. They didn't see us now. They didn't see us now.
Comrade, if I may, just two very quick questions. First,
okay,
will I be correct when I say that politicians cause this insecurity that we are seeing? I mean, if we're to go by some of the confessions that you are quoting, one. And then secondly, what would you have the entirety of the country do now, especially since you have said that what the Senate and the National Assembly is doing is a little too late? What do you want them all, or will I say the entirety of the country, to do?
Well, I want to suggest that the military architecture has to be rejigged, in the sense that it's like there is complex between the military and the National Security Advisor. It's like there's a complex because the military refuse is like, I'm sorry to say this, I don't know whether I'm permitted to say it or not, but I have to say it because we are looking for solutions to this problem. The military refused to take instruction because from the National Security Advisor, because he's not one of them, because of his background as a police officer, right? So therefore, the president, as the commander-in-chief, has to look critically at this area. That is number one. Number two, the state government, the state government must have power to have their own state police or community policing. If this one is done, then the governors of the state will be the commander-in-chief of his own security outfit in their state. The local government should also have autonomy, or the governor should allow the local government to brief. Governors should allow them to brief. They should grant the autonomy so that the local government chairman should also be the chief security officer, efficient chief security officer of their local government. Then the traditional rulers too should be, factored in, and the government should make sure that any traditional ruler where there is security breach in their domain is seriously sanctioned, because we can see that some of the collaborators, some of the traditional rulers are among the collaborators with all these bandits. Some of them are among them. So we have to face this reality, and then any drastic problem demands a drastic solution. We should go all out to find, to look into this option. And again, government should make sure, the state government should make sure that there are CCTV around. For security reasons, there should be CCTV, so that if you have any alien coming in through the bush, they should face them squarely. And those who are recently employed on the order of the federal government, the security guards. Well, we have to thank the government, federal government especially, for this. They have been deployed, but it is not enough. We have to, increase their, fighting equipment. We have to arm them with superior ammunition, because the ammunition being used by the bandits is more superior than the one given to our vigilante. Our vigilantes too, they should be taken care of. And yes, lastly, I think I want to suggest that in Kwara particularly, we should form a collabo with the Southwest Security Network, because the Southwest seems to be the only safe zone now. Why can't we form a collaboration with them? The Sunday Igboho is back. Why can't we make use of him? OPC, Gani Adams is there. Let us invite him. The government, Kwara state government, should talk to them. Extend the governor. Our governor should extend his hand of friendship to them. Bring them. If they can help us fight this insecurity, why not? I think that is those are the two advice I have for now.
All right, comrade. You did not answer my first question, though, as to whether or not politicians caused this. Will you blame politicians for this? It's a yes or no, sir.
I think it's yes.
I think it's a fine place to leave it, comrade. We have to thank you very much for your insight this morning and sharing your time with us on the program. Comrade Abduraouf Bello-Labelabe is a retired university don at the Department of Political Science and also an advocate of Igbomina liberty and Northern Yoruba nationality, and also a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in Kwara South. Thank you so much for coming on, Prof.
Thank you very much for having me.